It keeps you from inviting everyone just to invite everyone. You're inviting people you trust on your stream. People you trust are going to be cool on your stream. On Facebook, everyone's your friend. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yes.
You know?
No. I only invite people on Facebook that I trust. People that I've met at conventions that are into comic books. People that are artists. Those are I'm trusting people. I'm taking, on Google Plus, I'm only circling people that I trust. It's the same thing over on Facebook. It's not different here than
it's also mutual on Facebook. I don't trust my kids being on here, but I trust them on Facebook. Point blank.
It's mutual.
Really?
I do not, because there's control on Facebook. There's not control here because this follows the Twitter model of people following you.
Well, so do you guys think the teenagers being here is okay? Or?
No, I hate it. I don't want to deal with them.
No,
I haven't seen a problem with it yet, but
you can't sit to hang out with teenagers because they're annoying.
I want an age meter. I want a maturity meter because I've met people 3 times the age of a teenager who are 3 times as less mature as the teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's less about someone's age and more about their maturity level. And
I'll be banned from the site in a week.
Yeah, I don't want kids here as a parent. I don't want kids here as a user.
Yeah.
Let me agree with Chris here and say I was on ZDTV way before he was as a 15-year-old with a net cam. And I was on every damn time I could to expose myself and learn more about technology and the way the internet
we don't want to know about you exposing yourself.
Saw that coming a mile away.
Sorry.
So
Put
Peter,
a
what
sweater
are you
vest
doing?
on it. McDermott, come on.
C4 chat roulette.
All right, Stacy, you're up.
Come
You
on.
got the keys to the kingdom.
Stacy keeps freezing.
He's frozen.
Yeah, he's got some volume. The gnome
It's
priest.
probably the most uncompromising pose that he
Oh, he's
can
choking.
Colonel in real life, it looks like.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and invite John in here.
Fast. Okay.
All right.
I want to take this.
Stacy's back. Stacy, what are you going to do?
Okay, here's this video collaboration we're doing right now.
Mhm.
Why can't I throw up some PowerPoint? I want some Excel. I want some
Oh, that's
drawings.
coming.
And this, oh yeah, it's got to be coming.
It's
But it was on
coming. You hear that a lot.
extras. It was on extras though.
It's
Some of
on
it, right?
extras, kind of, but I mean, target them hard. Who was it? I wrote it down. It said Peter. It said bus.
Oh.
We want businesses on our bus. Okay, that's who we want on our bus here at Google Plus. Let the free stuff go to, the little teens that want to join and do their little video stuff. But if you want to do cool stuff, sell it. Take a bite out of Microsoft. That's where I'd go.
All right, I'm up.
Okay.
What would you do, Robert Anderson? You have the keys to the G Plus throne, the toilet.
In the short term, I would make sure that we embrace the idea of a platform, that we facilitate the API and development in this space. But I'd do something really stupid. I'd reach out and say, how does Google serve mankind in 100 years? Where are we? How do we involve? How do we become part of the evolution of mankind? How do we move what we are now, today, in 100 years? And how do we become a part of that? How do we fit into that? How do we better the world? And that's in terms of energy, in terms of information, because I think information and exchange and the ability to interact with information is incredibly important in terms of how we conserve the energy that we have and how we evolve toward where we're going. That's how stupid I would be about it. That's all I have to say about that.
Do you think there's going to be this information burnout at some point and people are just going to stop caring? It's ramping up to this extreme where all must be engaged.
We're there.
That years ago, though. That's an old conversation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Twitter's already there with the noise. I mean, it's just inevitable that's it's gonna happen as
we're all going to evolve. We're all going to devolve back into least common annoyance.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, welcome to the
Hey.
Paul. And Paul is in a unique situation because he does body paint, and he's actually. And Chris was excited about your body paint.
Actually,
Yeah, I saw that.
Chris was
It's kind of
excited.
interesting. It was kind of interesting when you go.
Earlier, that wasn't a serious.
Just a joke. I meant a joke. Yeah, it was a joke. He likes art, though, right? Anyway.
No, it was kind of interesting though when you had asked Ryan about his thoughts on what could be done with Google. And whenever I'm asked the same question, I feel the same way he does. And I don't know. It seems to be like there's somewhat of a separation between tech geeks and artists. And artists seem to work within their limitations, and tech geeks seem to look at what can be improved a lot. And I feel like G+ has been a tremendous advantage for me as far as generating more hits to my website and just the exposure, and my work's gotten out there, people have seen it, and it's been tremendous.
Paul, I like what you just said, because one of the themes that you and I have talked about previously is about working within limitations of what you're presented with. And I think that's interesting. If you were CEO of Google, when you look at the limitations of what's going on, how would you optimize the opportunities that are presented here?
Well, I mean, like next week for math, I've done 3 live hangouts, 3 live body paint hangouts, and they've all been with pretty minimal abilities, using my built-in webcam, using this wireless headset, and allowing the model to talk to the headset from a distance with a louder voice. But like next week, I met Bruce Garber in person. He works at a TV station 15 miles away from my house, and we're going to try to set it up so we're at his TV station and like bring a better quality experience with 3 cameras zooming and all that jazz. So like, first of all, I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for Google+. I wouldn't have met Bruce Garber after the fact to set up this improved experience for people to see what I do, And it's funny that Chris was just saying that he was joking about it, because people always joke about me working with nude people, and I'm actually relieved to hear you were just joking and didn't seriously look at it that way. But I mean, like the thing that I like and what Ryan likes is that we're able to show what we're all about, and I'm not about like being around sexy naked chicks and getting jollies off of it. I'm about like creating my artwork and sharing it and showing people that being around a naked person is not necessarily sexual, which is common every day for me, but it's not common every day for everyone else. You know what I mean? But I'm able to show that.
I think what's phenomenal is the idea that we can have adjacency to art, and I mean art in the sense of Ryan's music, your visual art, and Chris's thing that he does in the space part as well.
That was awesome.
And of course Aaron.
Aaron.
I mean, all of these different art forms that exist in this space, we can get access to this stuff in ways that we never had. It wouldn't happen. Never happen.
Hey, Paul.
About this.
You mentioned Google Plus doing it, but it's obviously it's there, but you and Bruce specifically took, like, there are plenty of people at Google Plus that don't do things, they haven't. So I would just like the idea of, Google Plus is exciting and great, but it's us. It's the people that are taking the steps to interact, to engage, whatever word you want to use, to be involved, to go out and do something. Google had nothing to do with us hanging out. We hung out. Like they created a platform for it. Well, we could try to meet each other on Skype or other places, maybe not in the same way. We took the initiative to do it and to meet, and a lot of us meet each other in real life. Look how powerful it was for people to Peter, and he came from Nashville, and people came from all over, and they're doing it in Austin. They're doing it everywhere, and that's not Google doing it. It's us. It's us.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. So. Just because Google made this doesn't mean people suddenly wanted to see each other on video or hang out in real life.
All right, I'll throw this back to Aaron. So, Aaron, in your experience of watching World of Warcraft develop, do people get together in h.i.r.ls in that space?
Yeah, they do. They do. I know. I've met several people that I've known over the last 7 years that I've gamed with. And
does it take a longer period of time for the same depth of experience with people?
It's actually quicker. You develop associations.
Because you're questing? Because you're solving problems?
When you show up to raid, which is you get 25 people together, everybody has to pull their weight. When somebody doesn't, you know it. You have to develop skills. You have to develop
25 people on the same sheet of music doing the same fucking thing at the same time? We can't get 5 people in a hangout without,
Robert, it used to be 40. For the first 2 years, it used to be 40 people. Yeah, you try.
If you don't do your job, everybody falls like dominoes. I'm a fellow Warcrafter as well, and what he speaks is true. My guildmaster is the head of MIT Media Lab, and he has spoken on this countless times. Yep. You can tell a child, don't talk in church, because you're not supposed to. But what's the punishment? When it is, keep the main guys who are fighting over there healed, because if they go down, everyone goes down, one right after the other, and one person not doing his job has an immediate and direct effect on the team, on the little community.
And let me tell you, when you beat those pixels that you're going to go face that night with those 25 other people, and it's the first time you kill a boss, you down that content, you'll hear cheers in your headset that you'd never hear except maybe at a sporting event. The camaraderie that's felt in that.
And so how does that social platform play into this space? Because I'm hearing parallels, but
yeah,
accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability.
Responsibility.
Yep.
Eric, talk to us about that. What does that mean? What is accountability and responsibility in this space?
Actually, there is a parallel. One of the way, just a quick little, not to get too detailed about it, but one quick little structure of how MMOs are set up is there are lots of different servers that have the exact same world on it. The only difference is the community on that server. So World of Warcraft has, 275 servers. They're just named differently. So imagine that there were 200, like Google Plus is on one server. It's replicated 200 times because of the mechanics of it. The way it used to be that if you ever wanted to do these really hard levels, you had to team up with all the people, and you'd have to stand around being like, anybody want to do this level with me? And you'd have to find people from your immediate neighborhood. And it would take a long time, but hey, you'd find a great group of people that were in your neighborhood you could talk to. You can't really talk to people on all these other servers.
I see where you're going with it.
Over time, they changed it so you could just hit a button, get into a queue with people across any of the servers, and now the experience of doing these hard levels is crap. Because somebody can come in, you're never going to see them again. They're like, screw you guys, I'm going home, and they're out of there. And I'm playing Star Wars, a new MMO, and it's like how Warcraft used to be in the old days. The quality of gameplay is great, but you got to stand around waiting for it all day long. The second they say, all right, we're going to let you search for people on other servers, it all goes to crap because you can't.
The community feeling went away. It went away, completely went away when they did that.
You're going to behave yourself when you're interacting with people in this kind of environment, and there's reputation tied to all of these people. You see them on a regular basis.
Eric, how do you infect that behavior into this space to this space's benefit?
Well, you can't because it's so disposable, and there's nothing invested in it. At least with games, there's things earned.
Okay, so what could you earn in this space that would make this relevant?
Well, it's kind of, at this point, it's the reputation. There are people that persist through all the little drama fights and all the little whining that goes on over the years. Eventually, people who are still around years later, they are the ones that become true influencers and true engagers.
You said years later, so you're telling me this is years of...
to do it.
But Eric, don't the circles accomplish that? I mean, I'm circling the people that I want to engage, there's that word, engage with, like you guys, which I've had, is that a blue? Yeah, thanks, I got a blue too. But
wow.
It's the people I want to engage with and want to deal with. It's like my little community in World of Warcraft.
Well, circles for me are labels. I'm a geek from Silicon Valley. I live in the woods now. I can't find car guys to save my life, so I have an automotive circle. Even though the people in that circle don't post about automotive stuff, at least I know that guy's a car guy.
Dude, I found some car guys tonight you should totally meet.
Yeah, and I might have them circled. So, but they are kind of lame in other regards, but I'm still going to keep them in my automotive circle because I know that I can ignore their lameness for a minute and go, hey, let me ask you about a problem I'm having with the transmission.
So Eric, do you in favor of the sliders then? Do you hate that?
I do, but I actually I favor models like Subjot and Pinterest where you can subscribe to part of a person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can circle Aaron.
Hang on.
So Google Plus should buy Pinterest. What?
I can circle Aaron and only get his gaming content, but he could be an NFL guy, and sorry, I don't like football.
But how does the algorithm know that for sure?
Because he's explicitly put content into
what he's posting.
Yeah.
That's why Pinterest matters. That's why things like Subjot have a lot of potential because, and not a hashtag, because hashtags are punchlines. If I say this is a gaming piece of content, or this is football, and this is cybernetics, you can choose what to follow. Because I'm going to bore you to death talking about WoW.
90% of the time that'll work. Of course, there'll be a few things that that you put a word in.
Everything always gets through at some point, but yeah, no, it makes sense.
I question Pinterest is. I mean, when we talked about it, it was a few months ago before the legal battles even came up. But Pinterest is kind of enabling piracy of images that people may not be licensed to share, and it's not.
But what's to stop people from posting those images other places?
People will do it on.
I mean, how's Pinterest different from?
They'll do it. You know what? They'll get charged a lot of money for it too.
Yeah.
No, but how's Pinterest any different than Tumblr?
Because Pinterest has got money behind it, and people who have money behind it will inevitably be higher targets. Trust me.
Pinterest is different now because everyone's looking at it. I've been on Pinterest for a year. Y'all just finding out about it now, and if everybody pulls that whole "it's a mommy blog" thing, there's a reason I joined it a year ago, and how it has developed has had nothing to do with the intentions and the projections that everyone's putting on it today.
Sure.
Our job is to find drama in places.
What I'm saying is that it's still not addressing the fact that images are being used without adhering to their licenses.
Yeah.
It's not. They're going to have to buckle down a hell of a lot harder than they have. I mean, because of the fact that they have risen in popularity. Google Plus should be doing the same thing.
Do they have the facility to lock it down?
Well, it's essentially a thumbnailing.
If their business model is predicated on people sharing images, they better damn well keep themselves clean from potentially violating any kind of image copyright they could be held liable for.
Well,
I mean, it's the same thing with YouTube.
Robert,
YouTube's, I mean, they've fought this, for years and years and years and years and years. It's one of the reasons.
But are they using those images to make money with when they post them?
They are now.
When they link to a product site, if you made Google image search results a little more social and a little more organized, that's Pinterest.
Yeah.
They are basically thumbnailing, with the exception of
pictures and videos too.
Yeah, with the exception of the upload utility, most things are repinned. It's basically, that's a thumbnail in front of a bookmark. I will never say bookmarking because people's minds go to things like delicious.
You can literally put YouTube channels on Pinterest. Your whole YouTube collection is on Pinterest.
Yeah, you can do that. I've done that with my shit people say on Google+. Pinned it right to my, I try to only pin.
They share it, they tweet it, it's all there.
But my test for Pinterest is I took a screenshot in January of 2012. I'm going to take a screenshot at the end of 2012 of the What's Popular page to see what community still reigns supreme, the one that was there or the one that invaded. And unfortunately, I do kind of look at that us versus them kind of deal.
Do you agree, Jacob
said,
about that subscription circles, topic-based circles have replaced blogs? Oh, go ahead, Stacy.
Matt, I was wanting to ask a question to you personalities, like yourself, Eric, Aaron. I might be lagging a little bit. Yourself, the personalities on.
Uh-oh. We all have personalities. We're all wild and crazy guys.
I need to build myself an iron throne and sit in it when I do Hangouts.
Would you guys
need a toilet?
Dude, that would rock.
It would increase your respectometer.
What would be, Stacy?
Respectometer.
You said personalities. That's you're saying.
I wonder if you would abandon Google Plus if YouTube came out with the same thing but 10 times better.
In what sense?
Yeah, okay, everything you guys are talking about.
The community.
Yeah, YouTube's listening, and they put it out.
But YouTube's audience is not the audience. The audience is, I don't know. Chris knows about the audience better than we do, but.
Chris, tell us about YouTube.
Tell us about the audience. Isn't it? It's not kids.
It's kids. I mean, well, I can't say it's kids. It definitely runs the gamut. It depends on the content you're producing. But even then, some of my most highly tracked videos, my community doesn't care about. Like some of the more popular videos I've done have to do with Lego. And quite honestly, if I published a video about Lego onto the channel, most of the people just don't care about it until months later. Suddenly it's surfaced because people who care about Lego want to see what's going on with that particular video or review or whatever it is I'm talking about.
A library of moving pictures.
It's a challenge of getting deeper engagement with the audience that I think matters most with YouTube. And there are too many people hiding behind the veil of anonymity to make community work on YouTube. There's no rich statistics telling me who's the person who comments most, who's the person who +1s most, who's the person who shares the most, who's the person who, I want to be able to flag certain users, who comment like 10 times, like, are they good comments? Yes. Then I automatically want to weight their comments heavier than other comments. And I can't do that. YouTube, whoever they have in charge of YouTube, doesn't know community from their ass. Because they're doing it wrong. They've been doing it wrong from day one.
But Chris, what if YouTube and Google Plus became one and the same?
They will. They're getting there, and they will. It's really a matter of time. I would appreciate that from a content production standpoint, but it's.
What about when you so you're saying when you post a comment, like say I take your video and I put it up on my stream and someone makes a comment on Google Plus, it'll automatically then go into your YouTube comments. Would you like that? No.
I think it would be nice. I mean, right now every day I encourage anybody who watches the video, because the velocity, I'm like, hey, if you can, please +1 this, because that's the way we're going to get discovered. It's not just you who might enjoy it, maybe the people who follow you. And to extend the community in that way through everybody's connections is going to broaden not just the reach but the community. I mean, that's how people discover other things, is that people share them. So right now there's too much friction that exists between here you like the content, that's awesome. Let other people know that you like the content too, because that's the only way we're going to be able to grow, is that if you tell other people about it. Right now with Google Plus and YouTube, they may be the same Google account, but there's no crossover. The front page of YouTube, yes, there's a crossover, but there's still too much friction that exists between one and another. And if you know that Chris Pirillo and Lockergnome create quality content, you would be potentially willing to always share the content because you know it's going to be something worth sharing. And so there are people who are willing to do that. And so any tool that I might be able to put in place or to institute to make it frictionless, the better everyone's going to be.
And but something along the lines, that model where YouTube had, every time you made a comment on YouTube, it would have the little share. Instead of hitting +1, it'd have like a little share to Google Plus, and it would post.
That's Facebook comments. You just described Facebook comments. Go to TechCrunch, log in with Facebook, leave your comments, and then you can choose to have it show up on your wall or timeline.
Well, so Google Plus shouldn't do that? Is that what you're saying? Just for its Google products I'm talking about.
And once Plus does that, it makes it more like Blogger than it does Facebook.
Blogger. Yeah. All right, so here's the question, Aaron. Google Plus is a game like Monopoly. What do you do to win? What's the strategy?
That's a wrong question to ask.
I put houses and hotels up on everything, and then I charge people.
You start with Baltic Avenue.
I move all those users into a hotel.
Everybody gets a turn. Hang on. Let Aaron go first. Google Plus is a game like Monopoly. What do you do to win?
You gotta find a way to make money. You gotta find a way to crush your opponents.
Money will come.
Chris, you're up. Google Plus is a game like Monopoly. What do you do to win? Talk.
Engage.
Go.
You have to engage. The money will come. It's not here right now, but it'll come. The writing's on the wall, folks.
It's around the corner.
Writing. What is that writing exactly?
Bradley said it's around the corner.
Well, look, brands pay to get promotion on Facebook. Brands will also pay to get promotion on Google+.
Will
Who
they?
are going to pay?
After the Cadbury debacle, will they show up again?
Yes.
Yes, because that will blow over.
It'll blow over.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows about it, really.
Yeah, it's already gone. That involved like 3 people.
You shouldn't have brought that up, Robert.
If Cadbury survived the Hershey-Kraft merger and all of that,
you know what? A
bunch of pissed-off dudes on Google? Come on, that's not even a blip.
Yeah. You know what? They would have to do something colossally stupid to keep me from buying my one Cadbury Cream-Egg.
Yeah, like.
But do you know what's funny about all this? What's really funny is in the UK, Cadbury chocolate is distributed by Kraft Foods, but in the U.S. it's distributed by Hershey. So any publicity they got in the U.S. is counterproductive to their brand.
And also, there was a huge backlash when Kraft was taken over at Cadbury in the UK. It was like cheese in a can jokes. Yeah. They got through that. But
right,
Robert,
Eric,
to answer your question,
how do you win Google Plus? It's a game. What do you do?
Yeah, number one, cut the nonsensical I've moved away from Facebook, because if you've ever done real estate investing, you know you don't sell property, you don't move, you keep accumulating. As a content owner and as a monopoly player, you have property in every corner of the internet. I'm working on a new project, I gotta build this crap everywhere. It's exhausting. It's annoying. It's gonna be great for spammers because that's their business. It's gonna suck for the users, but users don't get loyal. They use it. I use Flickr, and I'm always gonna use Flickr. And I use Google, and I use Bing and Google for mapping. I mean, we use everything.
But how do you win this space? How do you win this game?
The game is not about Google. The game is about me, my content, my money, and that exists on the internet.
There you go.
And if I move away from Facebook, I deserve what's coming to me as
Amen,
a content
brother.
creator.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
So what percentage of your social media comes into Google Plus? How do you focus here? What percentage? 42%?
Not even that.
10%?
Because the platform is not satisfactory to me.
Okay.
And I mean, there's lots of geeks here. We've been through a billion types of software. When Google's acting like a startup, like I said earlier, I mean, I'm like, come on, man. I need to stream live. I'm not waiting for what they're saying is around the corner. I got work to do. And I'm getting ready to pay some stupid amounts of money to another company that, incidentally, is not Google.
Matt, that was my you have pushed the cash on the table. You've played big Google Plus. You're here to stay. How do you win? Yeah. What do you do?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm already doing it. I mean, continue to produce content. I'm already working on other projects. Continue to meet people and engage with them on here and do projects with them together to continue to create more content and more community and have that sense of content and community and that good feeling that you don't have anywhere else.
I got a question for you, Matt.
You optimized the h.i.r.l in New York, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go all out with merchandise and stuff, and maybe that's coming, and I can work with artists for that, for the purpose of enjoyment and for monetization. But that's not necessarily gonna like give me a salary. So,
Matt, I got a question for you. What would you rather do? Would you rather be a celebrity here on Google Plus and be known for your Hangouts, or would you rather keep making movies like the one you posted earlier?
I would like to keep doing both. I don't see why I can't do both. The internet,
are you doing both right now?
The game that said you had to pick one. Pick one.
Yeah, are you doing both now, though? Well, to reply to you, are you making movies and are you doing all this? This takes a lot of research.
No, when I made the movie, I was doing marketing, but I wasn't on Google. Google Plus didn't exist yet, and then, since Google Plus, I've been so focused on it. I have scripts and things, and I've been acting, helping on friends' projects, but I haven't made my own movies because that takes money and resources. Once I have that money and resources, from Plus or whoever, then maybe I will move away.
Which is a question because, Chris, you mentioned like 3 things that you were involved in, and I'm wondering, Eric, how many things are you involved in? And Chris, you talked earlier about consulting and your media, the other stuff you talked about, but Eric, what are you actually involved in social media, or is this just fun stuff?
Social media, it's a hammer. I mean, it's part of how the internet works, so it's what you got to deal with.
Yeah, but why are you in social media? Are you in it for?
Well, I'm tech. I came from the design world. I was a designer.
But are you here to engage, have fun, make money?
Well, I'm truthfully, it's like I love to drive, but I hate traffic. But you got to deal with it. This place is a hot mess, but everyone's paying attention to it. You got to be there.
Are they?
A lot of people are, yes. And that's what some of us would just do the early adopter thing. We go to all these different sites and
hell yeah, we do.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be familiar with it. When the next thing comes along and it's like, what is this? I can go, I know, I was there. That's part of it. I will never call myself a social media swami guru, consultant, whatever
Eric,
the word of the day is.
Come on, both you and I know that we were around when this was new media.
I know, yes, I realize that, but I don't want to get caught up in that. It's more of...
I agree. But what I'm saying is, Eric, I understand your perspective because I've known you for a lot longer, since before Twitter. Let's just put it that way.
2006.
Before YouTube. Honestly, before YouTube.
I pulled in Second Life, too, and,
My God. I was right about Second Life, though. I was absolutely right about Second Life.
Okay,
people still use it, don't they?
Which is the point. So Chris,
you gotta make money off
what
of
is
the
it that Eric
platform.
doesn't get about this space? And I'm going to ask him the same question about you. What is the thing about what is it that Eric doesn't get that he should see that he doesn't see here?
What does he need to see?
Is there anything he doesn't get?
Is he missing something, I guess, from what he
honestly,
said?
Like I said, Eric to me is more of an influencer than someone who jumps on, and I've never heard before because they haven't necessarily influenced me. Because Eric has influenced me, and the fact that I know that he's been around for about at least 10 years on the same scene says more to me because of his longevity and perspective. And that does hold a lot of weight.
No, no. He's completely valid. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the conversation. But
right.
Is there anything that he's not seeing that you think you see that he's missing?
No, I mean I don't know if we necessarily agree on everything, but I wouldn't say that anything he said is completely off the mark.
No, I wouldn't say off the mark. But I mean, is there something you're seeing out there that's sparkling that he's not seeing or hasn't hit on?
Not yet.
Eric
usually does pretty good at
Eric rebuttal. Obviously, Chris has just slammed you in social media on here, ripped you apart. I don't know that you can recover.
Here's what I don't get.
All right.
Actually, I can fairly critique myself. Here's where I could probably improve. I know sometimes I can come off a little cranky. A little. I do realize that I have to be patient, and while I am seeing the exact same patterns I have seen hundreds of times before, from the us versus them Facebook, Google+, from the hurlers, from all the people holding court and all the little cliques, I got to remember not everyone has been around a long time, and this is the first time. Like I said, everybody that's naming their product with a Hangout or a plus in it, I just know how that story ends, and it ain't pretty, and I don't want people to get hurt. But sometimes I come off a little too cocky, a little too arrogant, and snotty about it. And I got to remember that people are always noobs at one point or another, and I got to keep myself in check when I'm talking about this stuff.
Yeah, so but Eric, wait, hold on, Robert. Hold on. Eric, you don't see, no matter noobs or whatever you call people, you don't see that the possibility of people doing things together and doing things that are going to be valuable?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just a lot of people see the Hangout thing, like the video thing, as this new and inventive thing. And it's like this has been done a billion times before. The only reason it's kind of relevant now is Google's got money. Video ain't cheap, and it's a losing proposition for a lot of companies unless you got money all over the table. Google can get away with it. So take advantage of it now while you can, because they might be like, well, we're just going to shovel this over here.
Eric, you just hit the spot right there, buddy, because this is really about what you can afford to present. And this is not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, Seismic is a Twitter client, but before it was a Twitter client, it was a video timeline. Video Twitter. And some of my best friends in the whole world, actually, my best friends and most trusted colleagues in the world have either come from the virtual world, Second Life, or video.
Yep.
Like Seismic. Because there is a way of existing amongst content being created in real time. It's like multiplayer Photoshop. And then also seeing all these people. I probably look like an a-hole on my stream, but you hear me talk, okay, he's not terribly that bad, right? So now you hear my voice in everything that I write. Video has tremendous power. And you don't even need to speak the language.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's 65 to 92% of all communication is visual. I mean, this is incredibly powerful.
That's why Pinterest works. It's visual.
Yeah. So that brings up another point. Now with the recording of video, I know Peter does it a lot. I did it a little bit. Do you think using the recorded video to have a post with videos like that, where you leave a message or you just talk to people instead of typing it all out, is that going to be used? Is that going to be powerful?
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Can we get back to the Monopoly game?
Okay, yeah.
Peter's been formulating.
Peter's like, I've been left out.
Wait. All right, so Paul, you're up.
Okay.
Google Plus is a Monopoly game. What do you do to play to win?
Doubles.
I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing since the beginning that's been paying off, and that's just doing what I love to do, posting my artwork and sharing it with the people out there. It's been a success. So, yeah, it's working.
Paul, are you how is How is this space changed what you do over any other space that you've experienced to this point?
It's all exposure.
But has it been transformative? Have you seen a step up in sales?
Absolutely. I did my taxes already this year. I doubled my income over last year.
But that's from Plus?
Definitely.
You're the only guy that's made money in Google Plus. We need to talk.
I'm not the only guy.
No,
that made money.
This guy
it seems like artists and musicians are doing pretty well on Google Plus.
Yeah, they are.
But the thing about Google Plus is, when I made my original 3 posters, I got lucky because I had 2 key people share my stuff, and from there it went out to the net. Now everything else that has happened to me has not happened here. This was like a week's worth of time. Everything since then has been somewhere else. So this kind of gave me a springboard, but this isn't doing anything else for me, really.
Well, I wanted to chime in, Aaron, when you and Chris were arguing about engagement over numbers, and I'm totally in agreement with Chris, because the value of Google Plus is the ability to build relationships, and yeah, there's that percentage in the numbers game that is valuable, but it's more about conversions, and when you have an engaged user, the conversions are a much higher percentage than the percentage you would get by large numbers.
Chris, do you agree with that?
I do. We went, I when I started distributing Lockergnome back in the 90s, I'd grown the audience to just north of 100,000 people, and maintained that for a good amount of time. I'd never culled through that list and made sure that we were maintaining a good click-through rate and open rate. But this past year, we basically almost started from scratch with the same base. And while we have fewer newsletter subscribers today, the open rate and the click-through rate is once again, I would say, pretty darn nice, in like the 40-50% range.
It's luck though too, Paul. If I didn't have Pete Cashmore share my posters, I wouldn't be here with you guys.
Yeah, but eventually, if you build your engagement level, you won't need Pete Cashmore. You will be your own source of engagement.
I'm still putting out posters. I've got over 20 of them now, and I've had people say those are great, but the amount, because Pete shared that one set of posters, that's why I'm here now. No other set of posters, no other artwork, no other post that I've done here has garnered that amount of attention besides those original 3 posters.
Right, because your engagement level is not high right now. But he shared his engagement level with
I post every day. I post art regularly.
Right.
I make new content regularly.
It's still early though. It's only been 8 months. Imagine if you keep building your level in like 2 years. Where it's
but the thing is I have close to 17,000 people following me.
Yeah, but you got to look at the percentage.
Comments.
You got to look at the percentage.
And it's the same people every time.
And that's not bad.
Okay, so that's 30 people, but those are 30 people I've already engaged or who have already bought my art.
But they know people too. They've been engaging with other people and so on and so forth.
Right,
Can I have a quick question for you? Are his 17,000 dedicated followers equal to or better than?
I was going to say, just a hint, something that may help. If I'm not lagging, something that, okay, I'm stealing this from something we paid to see, but you're selling posters. Why not this week you put a new poster up, create a video about it on YouTube or something right here on Google Plus Video, create a video about it that you share.
Yep, there it is. But you should do that.
You know what? I actually just gave a talk on Saturday at my local library about my posters. I've got a solo show up, and it would be nice if I could share that with everybody else. If I did a talk about my art, who knows? But I'm just saying it was luck that got me where I am now. If Pete hadn't shared that one thing,
I mean, I don't know. You keep referencing Pete. If Pete hadn't done, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where are you located?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Where in Massachusetts? Because I can actually probably get to your library.
I'm in Agawam. Yeah, out near Springfield.
Those posters that you made when you first did they were hot. They were a hot topic.
They were.
I didn't see it because of Pete. I saw it on Google Plus from some other share.
Well, I'm just saying that
it was
Pete
a top
made it
quality
go viral.
product. It was a top quality product that spread nicely.
Yeah. I really wish I could view ripples on that, but unfortunately my post was 2 weeks too old for that. I can't show who made it go viral. I know that when I posted it originally, it was him and Dennis LaBelle that made it really take off, because I went to their streams, I watched people comment, I watched other people share from that point.
Well, you know what's amazing, though, Aaron? What's amazing is you have no idea where Pete saw it. You have no idea where anybody saw it. You don't even know.
No, I don't.
Like, there's so much involved with that, and if you really want to see the charts and this and that, they're like, all right, well, Pete saw it on Jose, and Jose saw it from this person and that person. Like, there's a whole, like, thing, like, you know.
But
so
now I know, because I've been watching my Etsy store now, a lot of the traffic that goes to my store does not come from here.
What about Kickstarter then? Going back to Kickstarter.
Ooh.
What about Kickstarter?
Well, if you really believe in your product, finding the other people who believe in your product is your first step.
Yeah.
And Aaron, I'm on your Google Plus profile right now. I don't see anything about buying posters, selling, or anything. I click on
there's a link to my Etsy shop right there.
Is it in
but
your
just a tiny, but it's like that big, you know.
Well, isn't that why it's there? You're supposed to click on
Stacy,
your
you
link.
should get a hold of Fanavan and start a block Aaron campaign, because he can square that away for you in a heartbeat.
There's a lot more stuff you can do, Aaron, to get your work sold.
No, I realize that, and that's what I've done, because, like I'm saying, a lot of my, I'd say 99% of my income doesn't come from Google Plus anymore. It comes from other places and other sites. So, because it started here because of the luck of one person sharing my stuff.
That's not the luck of one person sharing the stuff. Here's the deal. You made some awesome content, somebody found it, and they shared it with somebody. And that is how this place works. It's the same concept behind the idea virus. It's a microcosm of it. And if your content was crap, it wouldn't have made its way to Pete. Pete wouldn't have found it interesting. And Pete's not going to share stuff that doesn't fit his interest and fit into the profile of his audience.
Well, Peter, now that you have the dice, roll, and how do you win the game? It's Google Plus and it's Monopoly.
Are you the thimble, by the way? Because I think you'd be the thimble.
The thimble.
I'll be the thimble. All right, so here's the thing. We talked, you know, Eric, I really admire your thought that you need to be everywhere. I had a really bad argument with Stephen Haywood a long time ago. I haven't talked to him since, and I feel bad. But the thing is, okay, so the more eyeballs you have, the more people you have seeing your content, that's great. But I think you need to do that. You need to have a presence on Facebook, because I have people that only engage with me on Facebook. But I'm not on there to be their friend. I'm on there to serve up content. So I created a Facebook page. Granted, I only have 50 followers. That's 50 more than I had 2 weeks ago before I set it up. On Twitter, I started a whole new Twitter account. What I did is I unified my brand, because I decided I am the brand. You know, this is something that Robert and I have talked about a long time. But what I did is I made everything Peter G. McDermott, the .com, the Twitter, the Facebook.com/Peter G. McDermott. Everything is Peter G. McDermott, because it's unified, which makes it easy to find. Which means, you know, I don't really like Google Plus. I'd rather interact with this guy on Chime In. Well, so here's the deal. I'm on Pinterest. I put my stuff on there. I'm on Facebook. I post my content there. I'm on Google Plus. I post my content and a bunch of other stuff here. Now, here's the golden nugget. On Google Plus, you get to interact with me. This is the space where you get opportunity to have not my full attention, but a good bit of my attention. And you're not going to find that in the other places where I'm posting my content. If you write a comment on my blog, that's great. I'll read it. I'm not really going to spend all day interacting with that. But I think the goal here is people are going to find you through here, but that doesn't mean they're going to follow you through here. This is a discovery network. People are using this to discover people. It doesn't necessarily mean people are using it to interact. There's allegedly 100 million people that have created an account here. I would be surprised if 10% of that number is actually engaging on any sort of consistent basis here.
And you can stuff Google, because having a social network in Google where social's being shoved everywhere is, well, it is mighty convenient. Can't deny that.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You know, people are saying that they can't find anything here, and to me, it's actually, I was just commenting in a Facebook thread about this very topic with the Google Plus video I recorded today. I said, you love information, you don't necessarily love where it comes from. So what does it matter that it comes from Facebook, a blog, Google Plus, wherever, Twitter even? You know, it's information that ultimately people care about. So it's the better discovery and velocity of that information that is ultimately going to spell whether something succeeds or doesn't. So it goes back to having quality information, quality content.
I just want to make it. Jacob Chappelle made a point here. He said, I would pay money to have access to the content that I'm looking at right now. He said, you guys are interacting. I have the opportunity to ask my questions, voice my opinion, and to me, that's something worth paying for. And I want to give him a shout-out because he actually just sent me $1 on PayPal to prove a point.
Hell,
but,
yeah!
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe we can, but the question is, when you go to monetizing, Chris, you would, I guess, be the resident expert on monetizing, you know, video content and things like this. Are you, I guess, do you just do a particular segment that you monetize?
Well, Stacy could probably answer the question better. He's a registered Nomie. So I set up Nomies.com as a way that people could get a deeper integration in the stuff that we were already creating, as well as do Hangouts like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but having conversations extremely like this. And so, yeah, like I said, why the question was brought up earlier, you know, bringing it back to that that part of the conversation. You know, why spend time doing this? Where's my time most valuable? Well, this conversation is valuable because it's a good conversation to have. But for some people who don't necessarily have as much understanding as we might have, or the same perspectives, this kind of information is very valuable. I mean, to the point where, you know, $1, you know, it's a good thing, and that can certainly scale up, because if the information provided, you know, helps a person save $1,000 in the process, in their time and where they spend it, or the efforts that they make one direction or another, then it could potentially be money well spent. So monetizing, there's no problem with monetizing content. The only problem that exists is a problem that exists in some people's heads where they believe that all content should be free, and that's just not true. All content is not free. No content really is effectively free. You're spending your time, you're spending your resources, you're spending your attention. The question is, where are you better spending that time and attention?
Chris, I've proven this point. I did a post a couple of weeks ago, and I asked everyone to share it. I got +1s, I got reshares, I got comments, and I printed it out. I took it to the store. I grabbed some eggs, some bacon, some other stuff. I took it to the checkout, and I said, here is the +1s, the comments, and the reshares, and they said, we still need money.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. You still have to monetize.
Still got to make money.
What you do.
It just makes the world go around. Even Google wouldn't be at it if they weren't making money, trust me.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how Google, you know, gets us all. You know, they get us all.
But they're sort of, but this is a game for them. $558 million, which is less than a week of their income in a year, right, in their existence, to create this space for us to come in here and play this game, and they get algorithm, they get all kinds of information. This is nothing to them. This is.
So let me ask you, Stacy, if I can then, and what I was saying, and since, like I said, I'm calling you out as someone who has become part of the mastermind group that I put out there. What have your experiences been, and what was it like for you to quote unquote pay to access that kind of resource? He's having problems with broadband, I know. He was just commenting in IRC. It may
he
take
spent all his money on content.
Did you? Wait, are you still using IRC? What?
Yeah, we have to, dude.
Nice.
I do too.
Wow.
In fact, my IRC is nagging
this new house.
me.
Sorry.
It's been like 10, 12 years since I've used IRC. Wow.
Stacy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm lagging on Cox Cable, by the way. Fail. But why I joined Nomies is I wanted a lamer free environment I could talk to techies like me. And it's just been excellent. It's been awesome. I'm meeting you guys through Chris. I mean, this is what I'm getting from it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess the inherent value there, which you just pointed out, Stacy, is because Chris trusts you to interact with him on this platform, he's validating you, and that's worth a lot more just based on his popularity and the trust that people have in him. For him to validate you, to have you here, that's worth tenfold of whatever you paid to become a member of that content.
A lot of people have said the same thing in Nomi, surprisingly enough. Sometimes it's just giving them, someone who's in a business or starting a business or in a small business, they just need that one little thing that spells the difference between wasting so much time and getting to what they needed to get to.
For me, that was Pete Cashmore.
And then potentially is Pete Cashmore. The question is, how much would that have been worth to you to know that you would have had something like that?
Yeah, it just
how much
came
did
out
you
of
pay for it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel honored that I'm where I am now, and because of everybody that's gotten me here. But I don't know. I don't know if I had to pay for that, it would probably cheapen it.
No, it's not necessarily paying for it.
Value.
It's the question of value and where you place value. If you know you could get this much out of something that you pay this much for, you'd be crazy not to gamble that. That's the whole reasoning, and content can do just that. If the content that you're creating or the experiences that you're creating are truly unique and can make things better in terms of what you might be able to find anywhere else, or your really truly unique value adds, that's where the value is held. This is where I even give advice to, I swear, in the past couple of months, I've been contacted by 4, businesses that are extremely similar, and they all are trying to succeed in the same space that's already crowded. And it's very difficult to tell them, like, look, dude, you're tilting at windmills unless you've got a true value add, and there's nothing about these business models that has any value add. There's value in what they're creating, but there's nothing that's so extreme that an average person couldn't circumvent the what they've created and do it on their own. It's being able to leverage your existing assets and showing, hey, here's the value of what I'm promising, and being able to not just deliver on the promises, but to exceed the promises that you've promised to deliver.
Well, what about besides just content, the actual, because in this space, I know at least me and there are a lot of people who do this, support, meet people in Hangouts, like them, and do support them for who they are, and they might not have the world's greatest post or content, but they're good people, and you believe in what they're doing, and you support them, or you plus mention them in things, and that gets some attention.
That's actually, it's funny because one of the things that I do with the Nomies is there's a Twitter list, and then we do a mention, and then I have a Google Circles for Nomies, and that's helped a lot of people get a lot more followers. That trickled down to even their blog posts that they weren't able to get on their own a lot of traction for. But since it's kind of leveraging that network effect, it's kind of grown and extended the value of something that it was intangible but very, very tangible. Like Stacy, I think, has got 500 circlers on Google Plus right now. And I'm not exactly sure how many of those came out in Nomies and how much came out of the stuff that he was sharing publicly or even privately and making those connections. He'd be able to better answer it, but it was certainly something that we've seen from other people as well.
And on top of that, I would say there's actually people in this space, I won't go into names, but there are people that have grown big time, and they grew big time because of other people supporting them. And some of them are at the same numbers that you're at right now, and they started off just with nobody, and now they're those numbers just from the support of the community. So it's interesting how it all works. Yeah. Interesting network, and we're continuing to grow. But like you said, numbers are important in the sense of that. Maybe Aaron's saying that they're important in the sense that you're gonna sell more art or sell more music. I don't know. But overall, they're not as important as...
I think numbers are important for short-term gain.
Yeah.
Engaged followers they're there for the long haul.
Yeah. It's finding if you look at Kevin Kelly's blog post, it's finding those 1,000 true fans.
Yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up? For how many hours? Eric's gone. Robert's
Well, hey, Matt, I want to thank you for facilitating this and for letting us in here. I think the people that you chose to have this discussion were some of the more poignant people. Chris, it was great being able to watch you on Matt's show. It was an honor being here.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Chris.
No, we had a lot of fun. Hopefully you had fun. Chris was like, I got an hour. I was like, no way, it's going to be an hour.
I don't know how am I supposed to follow up this hangout next week now?
What do you mean? You'll be fine. Actually, Mohammed's tomorrow, so he's got the pressure. You're good.
Yeah. I have no idea who you people are. I just know that I got another week off my parole for spending this hour and a half.
That works out good. Does anybody we go down the line and some final thoughts about either the conversation with Google Plus or you want to hawk your own art, whatever you want to do? Start with you, Aaron.
Go to my Etsy shop, Just One Scarf.
Dude, I'm going to totally check that out. Like, yeah. I'm going to go figure out what that's about because I need some cartoonage.
And also, I'd say that this was...
Stacy already reshared you, by the way.
Oh, what'd you say?
Stacy already reshared you.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for putting up with me. I'm no social media expert. I've just been around the block enough times to know what's...
No, but your insight was so important because you've been down the road with so many social media platforms.
Yep.
You see it. You're like, dun, 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 here it is.
I've seen things coming. Yeah. I've seen things coming. I can see them on the distance.
No, that's the thing. Yeah. And it's to get different perspective.
I think it's important to be optimistic, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm nothing but optimistic right now. Everything's going great for once in my life, you know, so...
For once. I can't see that. All right, I'll leave Chris for the end. Let's go jump down to Stacy. Stacy?
Well, I guess the one thing I can say is...
Stacy.
Am I still here?
Oh, there it is.
Am I here? Am I with you guys?
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say...
Yeah, you didn't cross out yet.
I see dead people.
Yeah, I did share you on Etsy, or your thing about Etsy there. One thing I can say about the Nomies that Chris was talking about earlier is that we have people who give discounts to make this kind of stuff happen. So I don't know, am I saying this wrong? So what I'm doing is I'm propping Nomies. We have a bunch of people that do what you want to do, and they'll give you discounts for being a Nomie. So anyway.
Wow.
Cool.
I didn't pay him to say that.
No, we know.
No, he paid you to say that, ironically.
Sounds like it's working.
Isn't it?
Whoa. It is. Ryan, bring in some Canadian flavor.
Wait, is that like reverse multi-level marketing? So it's like...
Uh-oh. MLM.
Wait, it's MLM.
Wait, I'm confused. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's like this. Brings it all back.
Mr. Van Sickle.
Yeah, Ryan.
No, I don't feel. I don't know why I'm in this room.
Ryan played a whole concert before he came in here.
We're gonna find you. We're gonna kick your ass.
It's because we have a romance, dude.
You're here because you are an extraordinary mind. Because you've come into this place, you've created, shared, and you've done everything that we've done. But you've done it with things that we enjoy more than the crap we do. Like we just produce junk. You produce stuff that inspire people. And that's why you're here.
And for the record, Ryan didn't pay Robert to say that.
Well, I'm going to check your stuff out now because
I did.
Chris paid.
Well, I mean, Google Plus has just been an incredible experience. And I mean, this conversation has been very eye-opening for me, to say the least. But, you know, I was lying in bed last night, and I'm thinking, if Google Plus ended tomorrow, what would I do? Because I've really been focusing a lot on Google Plus, and it kind of scared me for a second because I've really been putting a lot of my energy in Google Plus because it's not about, you know, it isn't about selling CDs. It's about making those fans, building that fan base, making friends. And then through the people I met here, I've had so many offers to go to other cities and play house shows and play, would you come to our city and play? So I'm meeting all kinds of people. I'm able to hopefully get on the road and go play concerts where I wouldn't have been able to do that without G+. It would have been a long road because really my music career just started almost a year ago now, really, seriously, when I put out my album. So Google Plus has been an incredible platform to share my art, and
so I want to ask a quick question of Aaron, Chris, and Paul, both because of art and marketing and internet stuff, all different stuff, but same idea. What would you say to So Ryan, is he on the right track? Is he going the right direction, investing in this?
I'm going first.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Paul.
Because people get caught up in making money, and that becomes a priority, and that's a problem. I think the most important thing, the biggest value of Google Plus, is its ability to build relationships. And like what I was saying earlier, and what Chris was saying, is solid relationships, solid following generates money. You convert your sales better with built relationships.
Right.
But it shouldn't be your focus to make money. You should enjoy what you're doing. You should share yourself, share your art, or whatever you're trying to push. And it'll just come in the end. Don't even worry about it. This past 8 months, that's what I've been doing.
I can't wait till you hear what he's got to say.
Talking about organically is what we're talking about. Organically.
I've personally just been doing what I always have been doing for the last 5 years with my work, but now I'm able to get it out there on a bigger stage. And the money's coming in as a result. And the goal was not to make the money.
Yeah. See, I have to be the anti-Paul right now. Yeah. I'm here for the money. I didn't want to be on this platform. I randomly circled 600 people when I showed up here and managed to randomly circle 600 people.
And that proves my point.
I'm only here for the money, Paul.
And that's important. I mean, you're anti-Paul, but you've got the evil guy beard, so it's believable.
Well, no. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
That proves my point, because I'm saying if your goal is to be here for the money, you're going to end up negative about it. And that's where you're at right now. You feel like you basically have said that you almost believe that you can't do it yourself. You need to rely on people like Pete Cashmore to sell your work. But you are capable of selling your work yourself without anyone else doing it. And I know this is a fact because I've done it here on Google Plus all by myself.
Don't start singing. Thank you.
Yeah. I got to disagree with you, man. I got to disagree with you. I think that it's because of the luck that I've had with key people sharing me.
Don't say his name again. Thank you.
I won't.
Jesus.
I won't. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to name drop. But it's because of that I'm where I am now.
Who's he?
Yeah. So.
If you ask somebody on the street who Pete Cashmore is, they would
know. And I don't want to be a jerk and ruin anybody's image of me. But it's one of those things where I've got enough friends already. I'm looking for customers. And
but that's the thing is.
It's driving you nuts, Paul, isn't it? The fact I'm here just to make money and not to
that's not it.
Hang out with people.
You're misunderstanding me.
No, you're saying that I have to engage.
Is that string cheese?
Everybody.
This is eating string cheese on the show.
Make more of myself, and the money's going to follow.
He's like, where's that voice coming from? Aaron, consider yourself blocked. I mean, what?
Here's a perfect example. You know Daniel Fontaine.
Daniel Fontaine of Brock, Massachusetts.
All right, Daniel Fontaine.
A car in a hangout.
Daniel Fontaine is a regular hangouter. He sells cars for a living.
Okay.
Since I've met him in a hangout, and I know he sells cars, the day I need to buy a car, I am more likely to go to him than any dealer close to me because of the relationship that was built.
Right.
It's not about making more friends, and it's not about making more customers. It's just about building relationships.
But is that enough return on your
What do you mean is that enough?
Making connections. I mean,
You don't get to take any of this money with you, by the way. I mean, so like at the end of the day, I don't know. You're not homeless. Thank God.
If somebody's gonna buy my, I have gone above and beyond to get connections with people and to have good customer service and all that. But when it comes down to it, it's just I'm here for the money.
Chris, what's the ROI on your artwork in this space, or in any space in social media? I mean, you work incredibly hard to produce content. Your art, and it is art.
Yeah, but I'm not just creating content.
It's art. It's artworurt. I don't think what you produce is content. I see it as art.
It is hard to do. It is very hard to do.
No, not hard. Art.
No. He's trying to call you arts.
No, it's art. It's
art,
like
Connie.
I think it's an art to be able to better balance these things, but it just takes time, and being here for the long haul means that you are going to be spending time.
It sounds like you're relegated to getting less than it's worth because you produce good content. It's artistic. It has value, some kind of value, but I don't think you've gotten the kind of return that you deserve on it.
Well, it's getting there.
That could be said for everybody, though.
Yeah. I think it's getting there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we were wrapping things up with Paul. Wait, you asked Aaron, Paul, and Chris a question. Then we were wrapping up things with Ryan, Robert.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I don't mind.
Sorry,
people are watching. No, it's cool. I'm glad that you were here and you were involved. And I co-host is good. Jump in and take away. So Aaron, so Robert, your thoughts?
Did we run past the 30 minutes for the show?
Yeah, the 30 minutes. That
you're not going to get in trouble with the man for overusing their material and their
man. We could have this conversation like 50 hours straight, but I don't think that's fun.
Sweet, I'll pencil you guys in.
I think we all have points in our allotted time. Matthew, I just want to say thank you so much for hosting, for allowing us to come in and run amok in your space because we all had fun here. It's incredible.
You
know what? It's work that you've done, that Peter's done, that Chris has done, that you guys have created a space where people can come in and talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice that we can broadcast it, that people can see it, and they can see what Hangouts are, and they can see what people that are using the space actually think. And actually,
you're interesting. You guys, we have today the 3 hardest working, I think, broadcasters in it. I don't know anybody else that does as much as you guys do, right?
Robert Meadow tries to do a lot, right?
It gets lost in translation.
Wow. Yeah.
I think Matthew Rappaport is number 1.
He does stuff. It's different sort of band. But
Peter.
I mean, you guys really, you're the sort of heart and soul about what we think about in this space. I mean, you guys ask the questions, you're out there doing, you guys produce content, you guys work your butts off. And I don't think you get enough response back. It pisses me off when I see people that grab cheap, shitty sentences from some other website with some kind of crap, and they get shares and content.
Wait, are you talking about the Huffington Post, Robert?
Whoa! Ariana, where are you? Can I invite you in here? Wait, was he? Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, SNL did it, so I figured I could take a run at it.
Yeah. You were saying, Mr. Anderson?
I don't know. Here's the thing, Robert.
I mean this absolutely sincerely. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to come here and hang out. I really appreciate it.
Sure. It was my pleasure. And, I didn't know. The problem with this after show is I'm not always sure who to invite. And at the beginning, I used to just free-for-all it, and that was a bad idea because people would drop in, they would drop out, and then they would talk or not talk.
This was the after show?
Yeah, you were in the after show. We actually had a show before this.
We're in the afterglow.
It was buffering the whole time. It wasn't worth it.
This is like 5.5 hours worth of content we have here. So if you can't,
This was fun. I mean, it was fun to get it all out and to talk about stuff,
Chris is like 5.5 hours. Shit.
I don't think Chris was bored tonight. I think Chris had fun. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like I had nothing else to do, really.
You didn't have to dig any dishes tonight, so you were good.
He was going to build all those Lego sets.
No, it was my pleasure. Thanks for joining in. And Robert, we've had conversations, and I know you have a lot to say. You and Eric Rice are on that same kind of talk level, right? And the two of you, and I guess John too, but I guess the Australian accent can throw me sometimes. So anyway, but yeah, it was a pleasure to have everyone here, and that came and left, and I didn't know what would happen. I almost thought Chris would be here for 10 minutes, but I didn't know. Everyone's busy. It was great that he was here for the whole time, and you never know what you're gonna get. And so I was very
people enjoy talking.
Chris is insightful. He's been around the block. I love listening to Chris and Eric talk. I love listening to Ryan talk about everybody's experiences. I mean, they're all valid, important, and interesting. But I'd love to get Chris and Eric pissed off at each other about something, because that'd be fun to watch.
It's never happened.
Well, you guys basically agree on most things. For the most part.
even if we don't agree, at least I have. I mean, I respect everybody, but it's the fact that I know he comes from a long history of doing this kind of thing.
And what really scares me is why the hell were Googlers watching what we were talking about? What the hell were we saying that was interesting?
Why didn't they come in?
On a multi-billion
I didn't invite. Should I invite?
They can come in at their leisure, can't they? Or no, they need to.
Well, all I saw was Bradley and Lewis for the most part, but.
Yeah, but don't they own a multi-billion-dollar corporation? They're gonna sit around and listen to our shit. Don't they have better things to do?
Well, they don't know. The two that watch us don't own it, but.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're wrong by saying they don't have their ear to the ground if they're watching, 10 nitwits sitting here and complain about it.
Who you call a nitwit?
I don't think we were.
Peter, we're going to see big things coming, remember. We're going to see big things in the pipeline.
Well, I will divulge. I'm going to divulge something that happened during this, and I got really excited, and I shared it with Chris. A Googler started following me in the middle of the conversation.
Oh, man.
A big one?
No, a very small one, but they work in the compensation department, so I'm waiting for my check.
Wow.
Was that compensation of the cafeteria? Which was
that? Did you just tell a lie? How much beer have you drunken?
Mark Zuckerberg started following me. That was kind of.
I should have invited him in. That would have. If Zuckerberg had come in here, what would be the one question you would ask?
Why did you rip off my Facebook poster?
No, the question for Zuckerberg is now that you have an IPO out there, how are you going to prevent your business from failing? How are you going to keep the vision moving forward? Because once you have a board that starts making decisions for you, you forget about producing new things every day, and you just think about appeasing the investors, and that's going to be their biggest challenge.
Shitty content now. I mean, so why is it going to get better with
No, it's going to get worse if you can imagine that. It's going to get way worse.
But what's funny is that before Google Plus, Facebook was the best thing ever.
Well, MySpace is
it was the only thing.
I don't know.
You got to remember the way it started as a way for sophomore guys to find out about the girl they thought was cute without having to ask her. It was a design for
workarounds.
But here's my next question. Chris Pirillo, I'm going to give you not $585 million. I'm going to give you $1 billion.
We'll give you some wine.
$1 billion.
No, I'm going to give you $1 billion.
Score.
Build a social network.
Do you have $1 billion? Anything close to that? Because I'm in. We're all in. We're all in. A man and a camper wants to offer us $1 billion.
I can get it.
You can't.
So I'm going to give you $1 billion to build a social network. What would you do?
You can't build community. Community is organic, and if you're not addressing a problem and addressing it well, you're not going to do well with it.
And you just said the magic thing. You said it 3 times tonight. If you're not addressing a problem, and what you said is that Google isn't addressing a unique problem at this point, anyway.
Because they don't see it as a problem, right? Is that the issue?
They've got serious Facebook and Twitter envy, and that's what's driving them. And so,
elephant goes where it wants in the jungle.
Their problem is different from problems that exist outside of Google's sandbox.
Yep.
So their problem is they can't get access to your social graph. That's their problem. That's the only problem Google is trying to solve. And because of that, they're not going to have a very easy time at solving the world's problems by giving them software they don't necessarily need. And that is the reason why Google Plus is not catching on like some people would want it to.
Look, Chris, when you give companies trackability like Facebook, you give them the ability to track you like
Ryan,
Facebook did, people start griping.
Wait, Ryan and Paul, can you guys fix the commercials?
But Stacy, Google has been tracking people from day one. This it's nothing new. People have just, honestly, if I signed up for an account and they didn't track me, I would think there was something wrong.
Yeah, but look,
what did I do to not warrant getting cracks.
But when you get as popular as Facebook, and they're like,
that would be an
they're
interesting
tracking you
idea.
here, they're tracking you there, and then it goes and the media explodes it into this and that, and then they have to tune down.
It's the internet, though. Most people don't get the internet, though. I mean, don't use it. That's the solution. Don't use the internet. Right?
Chris, I got one question for you. Who the hell is Kevin Staff, and what is his obsession with making GIFs of you?
Honestly, he just started. He was doing GIFs, and I was sharing. And then one day he's like, "Hey, do you mind?" He did one of me. I'm like, "Dude, that's hilarious," and I shared it. And he says, "You don't mind?" I'm like, "No, go for it, dude. I love him."
Because there's one in my stream right now.
Do you have a favorite one? Because I have one of those questions about all those pictures made of you and memes.
I don't know. The Brady Bunch one was pretty funny.
Yeah, that one was good.
You had one on the goat, right?
I don't remember a goat. What the
the
hell?
ice cream truck was great.
Ice cream truck was a pretty good one. They were Kevin, I just let him go. I'm like, whatever, dude. That's awesome. I think it's
they usually make gifs of you like freaking out. There's a lot of those gifs.
Those are good ones. Yeah, he just did one of me. I think I gotta share it yet, but it's me kind of spazzing out. Sorry, I guess that's a bad word now.
Flama Blanca.
He made one of me kind of freaking out tonight, or I was dressed up or something. There we go. The Flama Blanca. I have no idea.
I'm looking at that one right now.
The flaming white.
Did you see Rodney Pike's caricature of you, Chris?
Oh yeah, of course.
I love that thing. That's one of his best ever.
For him to make that caricature.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty cool. I was honored.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, this is something that doesn't exist on Facebook. We're talking about people. We're using their names. We're familiar. Maybe not Stacy as much, but the rest of us know Rodney. We know. This is what's cool. Where else does this happen on the internet?
Yeah, but it happens on Facebook for me. I'll reference one of my guys.
On Friday, and he's bringing his spray kit. He's gonna paint abs on me, right?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I'll do that. Yeah.
You should do that. You should do that.
I will. We're gonna put it live on air.
Hey Peter, what about you? You
want to paint abs on the air?
You should do it. You should get some real abs. Peter, what about you? Wrapping up. I'm gonna get to everyone. I will. We'll get out of here with our heads attached.
We only have an hour and a half left, so.
How do you want me to wrap up, Matt?
Oh no, just talk about your experience. We're gonna run into Muhammad's show. That's coming up at 8 p.m. So. 8 p.m.
Muhammad's gonna join right now.
Muhammad's gonna jump in here.
This is actually pre-show for next week's show.
No, this show is tomorrow. It's tonight.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 shows this week.
Oh my
God. Is.
So what did you want me to say, Matt?
No, just talk about the conversation, what you got from it, final thoughts, anything.
What I got from this conversation, first of all, I was impressed by the viewership of the conversation. When people have influence on here, and we are influencers, and it's a powerful tool. But when we plus mention people like Bradley and Lewis, and when they come out and say, "Hey, we're paying attention, we're watching," that's powerful stuff. And I think in our conversation we explored a lot of topics. I think a lot of us developed the opinions we had on certain matters. And that's the thing about hashing it out and having these conversations, is if you're a blogger, you're in your own universe, and you don't interact with people, you're going to be very steadfast on whatever idea and whatever angle you have on your stance on an issue. But when you're able to get into a room with people that are in similar situations but have a very different perspective, you're able to adapt your opinions and the way you view certain things in a different light. And I think that is what's going to help this network become more successful, is by people looking at the downfalls and finding ways to improve them. And that's what I told Lewis in the thread. I said some of the greatest ideas in innovation in our history were hashed out in mead halls or over a couple beers with people discussing fundamental problems and trying to find a solution around them. And you can't do that on your own.
Peter, how many comments happened in the thread?
Well, there's like 18 different threads flying around, but if you're talking about the Google's getting social wrong,
that was a hot thread.
Or the main.
It was a good thread.
And that's the thing. You talk about what's hot list, if you will. None of these, like your thing, none of it showed up there. Whatever.
The real irony would be in Peter's post of that big graphic of that making the hot list, and I don't think it will.
No.
Not that I'm defeatist, but
it will not. No, that's curated. And there's no longer much of an algorithm in there except the number of reshares.
Interesting.
Yeah, stuff is curated.
Well, there's stuff that gets in there that has like nothing. That's just posted by someone, and it has like one.
I've noticed that. Like you get 5 shares, and all of a sudden you're on the freaking hot list. And
well, it depends on who you are and what it is. It's not about the content.
Or too consumed by the hot list.
I'm not that I'm consumed. It's just a matter of like. It's a matter of like what this is interesting. I mean, what Peter posted was interesting.
Yeah, but I am a hot list, so...
Oh, not a hot list, but a hot list.
Oh my God. And this whole thing lost all of its value.
Oh my God, wow, just probably muted. Wow.
Muted! This will be, mark my words.
Wait, I gotta scheme that.
Scheme it.
Wait, was that
I didn't even ask Chris about schemer. We didn't even get there yet.
No, this is made out of balloons, and this will be on the hot list by tomorrow morning.
Wow. That's hot.
Yeah, it probably will.
Well, I've seen that too, which is pretty sad.
Good effort. I can't believe you did all that work while you were in the Hangout like this, Peter.
Man, I did like 18 posts.
You have to multitask.
That's how you.
Peter does like 18. Well, like, and then half of them are new and half of them are the same.
Do you think G Plus should allow you to queue content up and just?
Yes.
You can. Well, here's what's screwed up about this. Here's what's screwed up. They let Hootsuite into a private API, and they're only letting fucking enterprises have access to that, which is total bullshit, because both Lynette Young and I have approached them and asked for access. It's totally fucked up.
Peter's getting angry!
Chris,
all right, we're cursing. We should wrap.
I have access to that Hootsuite application for Lockergnome.
Who do you think you are?
Run, Chris, run.
Chris, that's not your fault that you have an unfair advantage.
Well,
You're not at fault for that.
Chris did not have HOA at the beginning.
Mute him, Peter.
But they need to open it up. They do need to open it up.
Yeah, that's not. I don't blame you, Chris, for having it. Great for you for being a capitalist. But shame on Google for making a private partnership with that, and shame on Hootsuite for not recognizing who else should have access to that.
Trust me, they want to open it up. Hootsuite is hungry to open it up. Their hands are tied, though. That's in Google's camp.
Hey, Chris, do you have a list of people's asses that you need to kiss to get on the suggested user list?
Honestly, it was just like anything else I've done. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, you did a bunch of stuff before you got there, so I didn't know if you knew like who they were.
No. It's kind of like everyone asks, well, how did you get to Tech TV? It was because all the years of work that I put in to doing what I was doing that ended up landing me that position. It takes a lot of work to be an overnight sensation.
So I was busy building the networks that you use to play on the internet.
He's saying he's older than you, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I build the physical infrastructure that holds all this stuff.
Al Gore built you.
No.
But as far as the h.i.r.l goes, again, I mean, I don't necessarily think that they're going to be putting more people. I don't know if they'll put more people on it.
I don't see that.
And if they don't, then they don't. You know what? You don't need it. It's great. No
big things in the pipeline. That's all I got to say. Big things.
We can't tell you about it yet, but it's going to be great.
I can't tell you, it's on its way.
It's going to be great, guys.
It's going to be great.
I want to wake up one morning and know what it feels like to get 10,000 followers.
For no reason.
$20, $20, it's going to be a second Red's hot list.
Come on, what's it like?
I want to do. I would love. I would love it if just a fraction of these people actually paid attention. And so I'm very grateful for the people who do pay attention to the stuff that we're creating on a daily basis, or the things that I'm doing, that aren't related to outright content creation. I don't think Google Plus has necessarily helped with, any other types of things that I've done yet. I'm hoping to engage more small business owners on Google Plus. That is going to be, I think, difficult to do, largely because Google Plus hasn't yet hit the small business radar.
Did you say you're hoping to? Or are you mad? Have you lost your mind? Do you know how much work it takes to engage a florist? I mean,
no, the reason why, no. For the information that I provide specifically in conjunction with the Nomies service. So I'm trying to address questions that small business owners have, giving them the tools and the constructs so that they can be successful.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not doing it for them. I'm not a big fan of that.
Right.
But giving them the direction, pointers, roadmap.
Right.
Martha Stewart Living magazine, if you will, of social media.
Right.
I feel like we
go that far, but yeah, something like
Okay, Oprah. I'm sorry.
Well, now all I can think about is, now I know we're trying to wrap up, but all I can think about is Google Plus business pages.
Speaking of business, Matt, I just got a Etsy order that specifically mentioned this conversation.
You did not.
Yeah.
Stacy, was that you?
Are you fucking serious?
It was, heard about your art on Rappaport Hangout. Your art is going to be used to decorate my campus lab space where we use social media to promote science. If you ever have a podcasting poster or a Hangout poster in this style, please let me know. Cheers, with name withheld.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I wonder who it was.
Is that real?
You know what? I can actually look and see if she's a real person on Google+.
Yeah, sending us pennies.
Is that like a real executable item thing?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking hot. What? Do you have the artwork? Can we see it?
Yeah, I'll link you to the what she just bought. She bought my limited edition poster.
So you're saying someone bought something just because they're watching on.
Yeah, they can leave a note in the purchase, and they specifically left me that note.
10 of us work for 5 hours, and you make a sale.
Yeah, actually, I made 3 in the last hour, and it's probably because of people.
Wow, 3 sales we made you. How much money? What are we talking about? $30.
Robert, did you not hear anything Chris just said? It takes a lot of hard work to be an overnight sensation.
Right. Ryan, did you by chance sell any music? Do you have any idea?
Chris, where are you located?
I doubt it. I didn't look.
Where are you?
Just for shits and giggles.
Huh?
Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Paul, what about you? Are you selling anything?
I'm looking right now.
Oh, I've seen these before. You're that guy?
Go
I'm that guy.
Holy shit. I know this stuff.
Actually, I usually get my sales late.
Yeah, they come at weird times.
Wow.
Like mine come like 2 days late, the notifications for them.
So these other products, the schemer, the business pages, the integration of everything, I mean, people are talking about Blogger being integrated. I mean, like, literally, Google Plus could have, like, a tab for Blogger and YouTube and this and that. Everything go schema.
They won't. They could.
I don't know if they would.
They slowly are. Don't you see that black bar on the top of your screen?
But then that takes you. It doesn't open it up in Plus, is what I'm saying. It'd be cool if it opened up in your stream.
No, but
it's
Chris
a segue into what's to come.
Across their platforms, I think.
They're slowly moving it into each other, and that's what Chris and I were talking about before. Is Google Plus and YouTube are going to be the same community, and what you're going to see is the new trend you're going to see is frictionless sharing. And it's already there on Twitter, and it's already there on Facebook. But the problem with that is if everybody's frictionlessly sharing everything, it's like throwing shit against a wall, and nobody wants to look at that.
No. So, Paul, what about you? What did you get out of the whole, as we get to wrap up, number 10? The 10th hour of coverage of Chris Pirillo. Oh, did you already say yours?
Like
all right, Chris. It's all you. Wrap us up, and then I'll say goodbye. Everyone's gonna cry because they're all. You know what? That's the amazing thing is that everybody on the threads are like, "Oh my God, I can't go to sleep. My beauty sleep. Right? You guys are so engaged."
Serious? People are listening to this shit.
People are still watching.
They're still like commenting.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing this time with us here tonight on Google Plus. I'm giving more advice every single day. You can circle me. You can add me on YouTube. You can.
All right, Mozart.
Get your business intelligence handle through nomies.com, and you can email me too. Chris@pirillo.com. Peace out.
That's like a Lou Gehrig movie mixed with like.
Ladies and gentlemen, for more information on these fine people, look at the names plus mentioned in the share. You can find them all on the internet. I'm Peter G. McDermott on behalf of Hangout Conversations with Matthew Rappaport. It's been great. Have a good night.
Wow. Thank you, everybody.
Play us out, Rap.
Ryan, you ever playing this out? You're probably like tired as hell.
Come on, Ryan. Pick up the guitar. Give us some outro music.
Play me some music that I can monetize. Why who said that?
And Stacy, to authenticate everything that's happened, we need you to start talking and stop mid-sentence and freeze.
When he's emotionally drained, that's when the beat.
Free bird.
Wait, let me get my Les Paul. Hang on.
No cover songs. Play Into the Night. Oh, no.
No cover songs.
Well, you can't. You can't destroy me like that.
We're not live anymore, are we?
We're not live. Yeah.
Google's not watching anymore.
Give us a sample off your Google Music, because I linked your Google Music account. So give us a sample off of that.
Before you do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just say goodbye, and then you play, and we can all just
everybody mute and leave Ryan open, and let's let him play us out.
Right, but thank you. I just want to thank my guest, Chris Pirillo. Chris, I can't thank you enough for spending the most ridiculous amount of time with me, and I appreciate every single second of
Don't worry, you'll pay for it.
I can't wait. That'll be fun. I'll reshare your farting video, which you better link. Didn't you? Wait, remember the farting thing you told me about? Anyway.
I think it's a hoax.
Oh, it was a hoax. But it was a pleasure. Hope you had fun. I had fun. And I think every question that's ever been Mac versus PC, never Mac versus Windows? No, I'm just kidding. Terrible. Did not come up. But thank you so much for being here and enjoying. Hope you enjoyed it. And this kind of shenanigans doesn't go 6 hours every week, but usually 3 or 4. Yeah, Aaron, I hope that you'll make a lot of money to Google Plus with your artwork, and maybe you'll shave one day. You'll send me the hair like Byron Reppel did. I don't know. That was kind of creepy, but
hit it right.
That was the hair that he sent me from the show.
Oh God.
And Paul, thanks. I can't wait for the body painting. And Bruce Garber's going to be involved, right? It should be exciting.
Yeah,
do you remember? We got the Musketeers coming. Look at this. I'm like a tennis shot ready. Peter McDermott, Musketeers coming up. That'll be a fun project. We'll raise a lot of money for h.i.r.l. Robert Anderson. Hopefully, I'll get to be on your show. I know you do a show. You want to plug your show? You do one with Ermine or yourself, or I don't know. You do a lot of shows.
Robert's got a special ab show. How to build abs in 2 minutes.
Can you paint abs on Friday? Abs on his face?
We'll put it on YouTube, and it'll be like super popular.
And Chris is yelling, "Hey, Stacy, thank you for being here and contributing the Nomies section of the broadcast." And
our sponsored section of the Tonight
Sponsored
Show.
section, Lockergnome.
Sponsored, brought to you by.
Go to lockergnome.com, and is it Nomies.com, or there's no Nomies? Is there a
Nomies? Nomies.com.
Lockergnome.com, Nomies.com, Chris.Pirillo.com, or Pirillo.Chris.com, one of those.
Google
You know
Chris.
that guy. Google Pirillo.
Just Google Chris.
Google Chris. Google. Really? You can just, Chris comes up to you?
Google Chris.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Ryan Van Sickle's going to play us out. Thank you, Ryan. You've all been awesome. See you tomorrow night, later tonight with Muhammad Mansour, and next week with Paul.
Night, kids.
Rock and roll. Oh, and thanks for everybody watching, too.
Young sun shining through the hotel window, empty bottle on the nightstand, radio playing, watch you breathe and dream into the night. Pull your clothes aside and feel your heartbeat, cool and blowing the touch of your warm skin. All the troubles of the world, they fade away. Into the night, we're falling angels tread into the night, where burning desires fade, and desperate lovers break the chains around their hearts. Into the night, where darkness keeps its home, into the night, where lost souls strip alone, and they chase their dreams. They still chase their dreams into the night. Into the night. Into the night.